Welcome back to the Grieving Sisters. I'm Jessica.
I'm Elizabeth.
And we are here with Shantel. Although, listen, she's from Brick City, right? And listen, it so happened organically on Instagram. We had posted our girl Whitney, and she was like, wait a minute. Whitney's from Newark, and we were just like, wait a minute, sis, we love Whitney, and we just literally connected from there. We got Jersey girls, we have like this thing. I feel like we have like this connection.
There's a certain vibe, a certain essence. The Jersey girl essence.
That's it. But go ahead, introduce yourself, Shantel, and let the audience know who you are and all the good stuff.
Yes, I am Shantel. Shanty, I am in Greensboro, North Carolina, originally from Brick City, Newark, New Jersey. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I own a grief awareness wellness practice, Shanty's Promise. I opened it earlier this year, basically as a promise to everyone else as I navigated my own grief story that I experienced. So this is my way of normalizing grief, not making people feel weird or feeling bad about their own grief experiences. And my virtual practice, I offer virtual therapy for those in North Carolina and New Jersey, as well as collaborations, consultations, debriefings, all the things.
I love it. So, and I know that we kind of talked a little bit about, about your grief. Can you tell us, like, when did your grief basically start? Like, how did this all come back? I mean, right? Because we all will grieve something, but I know that you had moved from Jersey down to North Carolina, Petey Pablo.
Yeah.
I had to.
I know, that's so tempting. Well, my grief story actually happened in 2020. It's bad enough we had the pandemic that was trash. But my mom passed April 13th, 2020. She passed literally, I can't do math, like 6 days before her 70th birthday. And that was like my first, I've had people lost like aunts and what have you, but my mom was like my best friend. Like I was a true mom's girl. So that kind of like changed the trajectory for me. And before that, like, even though I was a social worker, I can never talk about grief. Like this was something that I never wanted to talk about. But, that was pretty much the story of how it began pretty much. And I've changed, I've had certain relationships I had to let go. You're not the same when you're dealing with grief. And oh my God, after that, I just decided, you know what? I was with the Department of Veteran Affairs at the time. So I said, I'm open to a transfer. I think my story in Jersey is done. If anyone else wants to see me, my sister, what have you, they can visit me. And I had the opportunity to transfer to Greensboro, North Carolina, which was also a big change. Living in Jersey all my life, then moving down south was a big transition. And, had a tribe. I had a tribe, actually blessed to have a boo, like all the things, new job, and then more loose, even as I came down here. So grief is just...
It was just like following around.
Yeah.
Well, how does your personal grief experience, like, how does that, influence the way that you show up for clients? Because obviously I'm also in the field, but I try to disconnect from that while I'm doing, when I'm doing this work of podcast. I like to hear, what do other professionals do and how do you show up for your clients?
So one thing about me is that it's the Jersey me. I gotta be real with my clients, loving. But I think for me, a lot of people feel judged when they experience loss. So, with my experiences and working with veterans, you had to be comfortable really talking about grief. And what influenced me to even begin this practice was, after another experience I had home, medical leave, I said, you know what? I need to start something where people feel comfortable sharing their stories without feeling judged. And that's pretty much how Fancy's Promise developed.
Wow.
Pretty much.
What do you
Yeah.
think are your most common misconceptions that people have about grief?
I think people aren't accepting that you'll change. Like my tolerance, I don't know if it's because I'm getting closer to 40. Like my tolerance
It might be we're in
is
40 and we just and more and more every day we just don't care.
Right.
We're like,
yeah,
no.
my tolerance is just
Yeah, I feel like my patience is thin.
it's so thin. And I think with me it's like, you know, life is hard for me. You know, my mom passed and my dad, and I almost, you know, lost my life. So it's like, I didn't have tolerance really to deal with nonsense. You know, I know every day is not a good day. And that's another thing. I think people want you to be always, you know, having good vibes only and toxic positivity.
It's not it.
That doesn't work.
Yeah,
You know,
I agree with you. I think that is one of the biggest misconceptions of grief is that people think that you will get back to normal, whatever that normal
yes.
And they just really don't understand that version. It's not that person is dead and gone. It's that version of you has completely evolved into something else. And they need to learn to, you know, build a relationship with who you are now.
Exactly. Because you have a new normal now.
Right.
You know, and that normal you had back then prior to your loss, whether it's with family or career or even like health, you're not the same person.
And it's not necessarily for the worse.
Right.
Like when you say that somebody's changed,
right.
I have never told my friends I love them more than I do after my loss.
Right.
Wow.
So it's not so much like, yes, you're going to have to deal with me having less patience for things that aren't really a big deal. Like, oh, your nails didn't come out right.
Right.
Or you're this. Yes, I might be like, okay, you know, for certain things.
Yeah.
But I do think that I have more patience, more empathy, more, you know, love in other areas.
Right.
So it's
Absolutely.
like, yes, the version of Elizabeth or Jess or Shanti is going to be this version that you're not going to be able to really vent about silly things or things that are not really on that scale. But but you will get, and I love you, and you will get, I've never remembered birthdays so much than in this year, you know, just to be like, hey, you know,
being more intentional.
Yeah, I'm more intentional. I try to make sure that I send a birthday text either the day before, the day of, or the day after, like, you know, but I try to like hit like, hey, I know it's your birthday. I love you so much. Right. We've talked about this before on the podcast. We may not be one to go to birthday dinners because a lot of people, it's a little bit tough for us to be around a lot of people.
I didn't even want a dinner. And my best friend's like, well, you're going to get a dinner. And and I was like, I don't want a dinner. She was like, okay, we're going to go out for drinks. And I'm just like, read the room. I don't want this. Can we have something that we... I just want to sit down. Can we just chill in the house? Have some wine?
Can we just relax? I've been outside like years ago. Like I'm good right now.
But also it's an intelligence because we know now that we've gone through this grief that we're not going to get enough FaceTime or time or love with you at a big birthday dinner. But if I say, hey, I can't really do the big birthday dinner thing, girl, but if me and you, if you want to do coffee, if you want to get a massage, if you want to, you know, just have a dinner one-on-one, we get to really provide each other with a lot more love and support than we would at, you know, hey, let's get a picture of sangria and whoever's birthday.
Exactly. You're more intentional. You're more intentional.
And then the intimacy. But listen, I'm not going to lie to you. When that summer, you know that smell we get in New Jersey.
Oh, God.
I'm in these streets, but I'm home by 8. Like, listen.
Yeah.
No, like, you just want to be outside. I was like, all right, so maybe we can do daytime. Let me stop.
Okay, listen, day party this with like some good music, bars. Exactly.
Nothing more, nothing less. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit of the tools, or maybe one of your favorite tools that you like to use with clients who are grieving or really like, listen, I can't take a shower. I can't get out of bed. I don't know what to do with my life.
I love journaling. which I feel like, you know, a lot of people, we would get if we didn't write our name correctly on the line, or if it's not that perfect person. No, this is all you. You dump your brain. You get everything out. If you need to cry as you're writing, curse out someone while you're writing, that is your chance to do it, just to really get those emotions out. And even like breathing, like I used to think it was so cheesy when I heard about like meditation and all of that, but breath work is so good. And I think y'all can be on a page on Instagram, like I think it's the Daily Breath or something, where they have like various daily breathing exercises. Yes, yes. I think it's so important.
Oh my God.
Every time I hear Miguel's voice, I'm instantly calmed. Like,
yes.
I go on his Instagram page and hear him talk, and I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, we gotta have him back. Yeah.
Yes. And you can even do it on, you can do it on the low. Like you could like go to the bathroom or to your car, or even like, you know, just step away if you have to, just to take a quick breath, because sometimes it brings you back to whatever, you know, those triggers or those dates or those scents or sounds. They will bring you back to that unpleasant place. And while you can't undo what happened, you have a way to kind of bring you back to that moment. So
absolutely,
those are my two, for sure, for sure. And therapy for me, like I had to really, you know, therapists, they say that you need a therapist, and I agree. I had to have a therapist like after my mom passed and all those things that was going on. And then when I moved to Greensboro, I had a therapist when I was transitioning, you know, to the South and everything. And I even had, thought I was going with therapy, but then I experienced another loss, last October, I had an emergency partial hysterectomy.
We talked about
Yeah, and I was just like, it was one of those things that you just don't expect, and it's not talked about as a woman.
Oh, that, yeah,
I
especially in that area.
Yeah, and a facility that was just, it wasn't something planned. And I really had to speak with someone that still speaks to this day about challenges of, like, you know, being a woman that can't conceive and not having children and bringing up all the other losses. So definitely having that outlet, because I'm blessed with my village back home and down here, who's been nothing but great. But I know, like, I can't really speak to them. Like, not that I can't speak to them freely, but maybe they can't maybe support me the way that I could. So, yeah, being on medical leave, it
was awakening.
Like, it was an awakening. I was still with the VA. I had left because of all the stuff that was going on. And I said, you know what, while I'm home, I guess I can develop my practice. So,
right.
Really,
well, it's funny. And then the thing is that when we had connected, well, just even for our audience, like we did meet with Shantel before, there was just some, you know, technical difficulties.
Technical stuff.
we had to redo this, and this is what we're doing now. But Liz pointed out, like, I didn't even put those 2 and 3 together. The fact that you worked for the VA and you were down in North Carolina, and then that's where her sister had the accident. The accident happened, but she was also in the military as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when I every time that it's like more about the signs and the alignment that this was supposed to happen. We were supposed to meet, like, through, I guess, if you want to say, through tragedy, but the alignment was there.
But this is also like a lot of the military that follow me or follow the page or have found us through my sister. I mean, this is a wonderful resource for you guys to use. And if you're in North Carolina, you know, it's it's great. You know, you have somebody home in your home state.
Right.
You know,
right.
so I definitely suggest. I shared some of your stuff the other day on Instagram.
Yeah.
But
yes, all the time. I appreciate the love.
Always reposting. There's all hearts and everything because it's just so much love there.
But this is the beautiful thing about our community is that, like, if all three of us haven't turned our pain and our grief into something positive, we wouldn't have made these connections. We wouldn't have been able to support each other. We weren't able to like push us out. Even from meeting you, it's been like more and more and more people that we've connected with and been able to share.
Exactly. Because I've shared it with a bunch of people I know that experienced like recent loss, and they're like, "Oh, like, I didn't know this existed." I was like, "Oh, it's like
we have it,
right? Yeah."
And that's the thing. We're kind of creating the support that we wish we had at the time.
Right.
Because I remember when this first happened, well, for me, and then I was talking to Jess and I was like, you know, there's so much support for like different areas, but siblings seems to be sort of
just not talked about. It's not talked about. And we know so many people, as crazy as that sounds, that have lost a sibling. Sure, we know people, you lose your parents. It's kind of like, okay, this is the natural way of life.
You can anticipate
you can, like, you know, like this is the circle of life. This is what's going to happen. Right. But then
the siblings, that's
sibling laws is, and then tragic, like that. And it's not the first. This is not the first. I mean, we're not the first. Like I'm talking about, like even in our town, we had 2 people from our town, you know, that were on our show. And then there was like 3 more other people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I remember the episodes. Yeah, that you shared. It's so crazy. Because the sibling is like, that's like my sister. She's older, you know. Shout out to Lonnie. She thinks she's my second mother.
Is that her daughter that helps you with your social media?
Oh no. That's my that's her daughter. But my sister Lonnie, like I can't imagine, like even like when my parents, I was like, look, you gotta get together. I need you. Like
I just think sibling loss is something that you don't ever think about. No. You're like my parents, my grandparents, the older people in your family, your uncles, your aunts, but you just, especially a younger sibling, you're like, you know, like I remember us making jokes of how we were going to be like old ladies and things like that. And it's a very, I don't think I fully understand it. Even being close to Jess when Jess lost her brother, like, I don't even think I grasped it until it happened to me. I was like,
and that's the big thing. I think people don't understand grief. Let's just even say overall, people don't understand grief until it happens to them.
Yeah.
It's like, but why does it need to happen to you for you to be human and show compassion?
Right.
Exactly.
The most important part. And I think we're missing that, period.
Yeah, because the questions are, were you close? Do you have other siblings? And then if you do, it's like, oh, we have other siblings. That's great.
Right.
Or at least you're not alone. Or it's very...
God makes no mistakes. And it's like, I believe in God, but I don't want to hear it.
It's just something that will never make sense because it goes against everything we know from conception of like you said, the circle of life. Like it just goes backwards, you know? And you have to like reframe your entire life thinking, okay, well, for me, I'm like, I'm going to bury my parents by myself.
Right.
This is right. You know, it's my only sibling, right? So there's just so many parts of it. But I just think it's fantastic that we've been able to connect and share and be able to just become this like big community of people who are supporting each other. Yeah, it's really a beautiful thing.
I wanted to ask myself out there. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes. No, you're fine. You're fine. I wanted to ask you, because we were talking about that taboo. We were talking about basically like taboo things that people have said. What's the like, did you ever hear anything like super crazy, bizarre, like besides, God had wanted it this way?
Well, with my mom, it was, she's no longer in pain. And I'm like, I don't want to hear that. Like, just mom, you know, and after my hysterectomy, it's like, you can always adopt, or do I, you know, IVF? And I'm just like,
that's not the point.
I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to curse anyone out. Let me just just let me bring it. Let me use the technique I use.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that.
I think that there's two parts of grief, right? There's the part of grief of you grieving the relationship, right?
Yes.
The relationship with our siblings or the relationship you had with your own body, right?
Right.
And then it's like after the hysterectomy or after these certain deaths that happen in the life, it's like you're grieving what could have been.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the part that people don't understand.
Right.
Like when people say, for both of our siblings, they didn't get a chance to become parents. And I believe they both wanted to be parents.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, did they have kids? And you're like, no. And they're like, oh, thank God.
You're like, what?
Grieving that. You know, we're kind of,
because we want that piece of them.
We want that piece of them. And we wanted that for them. Wanted, you know? So it's like, we're kind of grieving. Well, we didn't get to experience that with them. I'm never going to be an auntie. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's very strange. It's very strange when you try to explain the current grief that you're in, what you're grieving from this point back, and then also all of the grief for like what could have been. You know, because you're grieving that whole thing. Like you're grieving that part of your life, you know?
And of course,
go ahead. Because
and that's why
this.
No, that's why I developed. I love you guys. That's why I developed my practice. You know, it's just like, because these are things that people are not talking about. Like what could have been, that I have did it this way? Should I have said this? Should I have done this? And there's a lot of those unanswered questions and that guilt, you know, even if it's not your fault or what have you, it's just always that underlying guilt. Like, what if, should I have done? A lot of those unknowns, and a lot of people don't understand. And they say, you know, even if they don't mean it, they say the wrong things. It's
right.
Like,
sometimes it's just zip it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Exactly.
You don't need to say everything. You don't need to have all of that. But okay, so I have a question.
Yeah.
Did you grieve going to North Carolina and now you had to pump your own gas?
Yes. Oh my God.
Florida.
I can't stand it. It's the I get gas for the week. It's supposed to be bonus.
So she had posted in her story that she had came up for Thanksgiving, and I said, "Oh, I was like, okay, like this is what's going on." So she had posted that she went to get gas. She goes, "Oh, I forgot how good this feels." I said, "This is why I haven't left New Jersey."
That's amazing. That's why it took me all these years. But my boyfriend, he's like, I don't like this. Like, I want to put my own. I don't want to wait for anyone. What if they charge the wrong car?
But you get to stay warm, right? You get to stay warm in your car.
Exactly. He even said, no, he's been out here forever.
Yeah. Oh. So he's born and bred out there.
Not born. He's born in New York, but came down when he was 7. So raised down here, pretty.
He better not rep New York. Talking about I'm from the Bronx. I'm from. Does he?
Bronx.
He's from the Bronx.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm from the boogie down.
Listen,
I know. It gives you grit.
Once a person from the Bronx, always from the Bronx.
Yes. It gives you grit.
I was like, but you was down here since you was 7. That doesn't count. But okay.
What role does the community play in healing from grief, and how can people find and build that support? I think that was another question that we had for you.
Community. Oh man. It's like, what started with me, like putting myself out there, and shout out to one of these Sierra, who's in the military, who's in the Navy. She was like, Auntie, your Instagram sucks. Like, you're all over the place. Your post doesn't make sense. Like, what are we doing? And I was just like, she's like, you have to record more. You have to put yourself out there. You don't know who's connected to who. And I was just like, I do that. Like,
yes, yeah. Like,
definitely, like with you, like I connected with your husband and other people, and you know, just I think sharing the story, you never know who could benefit from it, right? It's like even down here, a couple of my girlfriends down here experienced losses, and they're, you know, we talked about it. I was like, look, you know, you don't have to feel anyway about it with me. Like, you know, maybe I don't have the exact same loss, but, you know, I can speak to you about, you know, when those emotions come up and everything like that. So I think sharing and just, you know, being in a space where this is what I want to emphasize to the community, that just give each other grace,
Yeah, that's
give
huge.
each other grace. I think that's a huge one. That's a huge one.
How can the listeners, how can they find you? I mean, give us some background stuff. How can they connect with you if they want to work with you? Since you're also licensed in New Jersey and North Carolina. That's very important.
Yes, I am licensed. I'm an LCSW, licensed clinical social worker. My home state, Jersey, as well as North Carolina. My website is shantyspromise.com. My Instagram is Shanty's Promise. Facebook, Shanty's Promise. Threads, Shanty's Promise.
It's everywhere, girl.
I'm not on a TikTok, but my niece was like, "Come on, Auntie, we gotta get you out there." I'm just like,
it's a lot. TikTok's a lot. It's a lot of work.
Yes, it is.
That's why I'm not on TikTok.
Yeah, Instagram, they expect you to post like once a day. TikTok is like 3 times a day to really.
Yeah, I'm fine, but I'm not just slowly creep it up.
It'll happen. Listen, it'll happen just like it happened with us. Little by little, it'll just.
Yeah.
And and I also think, being that we are talking about grief and we are women of color, I think that it has been really helpful. And that's been a lot of our audience is like people of color really stepping out. And I see that as like a majority. And then, and then I also see people not of color and they're just like, man, like, it doesn't matter what color you are. Grief sucks. And that's something that's
for real.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Especially around this time, like, the holidays, like everyone expects you to be happy. And it's like, well, it seems like that Band-Aid you're ripping off. So.
What message do you want to leave for someone who's currently deep in grief?
Feel your feelings. I think that's the big one. If you are not feeling happy, it's okay. I think the big thing is really sitting with those emotions. A lot of times we are pressured by society to get positive, smile, and that whole toxic positivity, which, it makes things to me worse than what it is. Sit with those feelings. All emotions, all feelings are valid. So sit with them and, whether it's that person that you're comfortable with, that you have someone, or if not, it's okay if you have to talk with a therapist and just get those emotions out. But sit with those emotions, acknowledge them, don't suppress them.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you for jumping on and redoing this for us.
Yes, and we appreciate
got
time.
We got it together.
I appreciate it. Yes. Thank you.
And thank you so much to our listeners. Thank you for always supporting us. And we're always retweeting, you see? I mean, reposting. I don't know.
Oh, God. Very well.
That's it. And we're always, constantly promoting you and, obviously of course. And we appreciate you and much success. And, also thank to our audience, thank you so much for supporting us. You can like, share, subscribe, comment, follow. We are on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify, TikTok, obviously Instagram, YouTube.
Yes.
We're everywhere.
We're everywhere.
We in these streets.
We're easy to be found. And so is Shanti.
I love it. Yes.
Definitely tap in. There's wonderful resources out there.
Yes. And thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for listening, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.